those who love Sag, those who hate Sag, love to hate Sag. It's got those vibes around you, Sagittarius. Thanks for dropping in with me. We are going to test out the frequencies, see what reality tunnel you're working with right now, what's going down in your neck of the woods, and what the download is for you from Spirit. This is for any significant Sagittarius placement, or if you have a prominent placement in that ninth house. Also, if you are Gemini rising, that makes you a Sagittarius descendant, and so you may find a lot of resonance with these messages. So let's see what's coming in here, Sagittarius. I did get this lilac energy coming in around you. In fact, I even brought in the lilac flowers from outside. I just love the way they smell. They have the most beautiful perfume. But lilacs are associated with coming attractions, kind of a more light, flirtatious, playful kind of energy, flirty banter, you know, a little bit of that sort of like first stirrings of romance kind of energy. So I do feel like this is around you. That might be why you have this energy hovering around you too, where it's like those who love you, those who hate you, and those who love to hate you. Hate's such a strong word, you know. Then it is such a strong word, but you know, some people really don't realize that that hate really comes from more of a place of feeling wounded. All right, don't take it so personal. You know, they see that you're in this place of really being focused on self gratification. Some people say to excess, but you're like, look, you know, I think that we hit on this, didn't we? With your last read, the energy came in as it's okay to be selfish. I mean, I feel like, you know, you're just kind of owning it. Like, that's where I'm at. I'm at that place in my life. I want to focus on what I want. I don't care what you want. You know, it's ruffling some feathers, but it is what it is. Okay, so let's see what's going in around this Sagittarius. Yeah, there's a Queen of Cups here. I don't know how this Queen of Cups is feeling about it. They're kind of trying to keep a lid on their feelings about this, you know, your need for your personal gratification, water sign energy, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. They look like they're a little bit in that place of consternation with it, you know, might be trying to act like they're cool with it, but they might really not be cool with it. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Somebody's stewing, that's what I got, okay? Somebody's stewing in this situation. They are, and they're really getting tired of this. They're feeling burdened by it, actually, you know, and they're ready for a fight. I see that, you know, with the 7 of Wands to the 10 of Wands here. They don't like a certain truth, you know, and I feel like this is where it's at. And this truth may have really come forward for you around the winter time, where you're just like, you know, I want to just do me right now. I want to do what feels right for me. I don't care what other people want. I don't want to take on stuff that I don't feel like dealing with, right? That's how it's coming through. And for you, it's like, oh God, what a relief. Finally, I don't have to, you know, deal with all this crap anymore. I go, well, it was this easy. I could just drop it. Yeah, pretty much, you know, but somebody is having an issue with that. Yeah, it could be a Pisces, okay, with the Page Cups here. They may even reach out to you about this, you know. Yeah, strong Pisces energy with a High Priestess coming out right behind that, all right? They've definitely been maybe even looking into the situation, I have to say. Maybe they've been doing their own, like, psychic consultation. They might have been pulling some cards, tuning into some readings, going and getting a reading. You know, it's kind of interesting energy here. There might be a need to cut through some BS too. Let me see what's coming in here. We got an Ace of Pentacles coming in with the Devil. Capricorn energy there. You know, I never like to see an Ace of Pentacles coming in with the Devil with the High Priestess. or a Queen of I mean, that's your energy there. I have to say. I have to say that is your energy. It's also really strong Leo energy with that Queen of Wands. Again, the theme continues. Cancer, Leo cusper energy coming in very strongly. Maybe really wanting to claim something. It's interesting with the way it's coming in with the devil coming in with the Ace of Pentacles there. It's like wanting to like sort of claim some dominion. You know what I'm saying? Like really staking their claim on something, maybe even staking a claim on you, Sagittarius, you know? There's something about that. They like that. That's a good look. I feel like it gives this person a feeling of empowerment in a certain way. I don't know. You got somebody who feels like they're in the dark around you. They also feel like you're kind of like holding them at bay. You're not telling them what's going on. They want to know what's going on with you. I don't know. I'm getting this interesting energy though, where you're sort of in this place where you're like, I don't have to share what's going on with me with anybody that I don't want to share it. I have to say, that's how it's coming through. I do think you're working on something. I do, Sagittarius. I think you're working on new beginnings. I think you got some plans. I think that, you know, whatever you're developing here, it's for you. I don't think you're looking to pull somebody in on it. And I don't think you really necessarily think it's even anyone's business what these plans are. And I have to be privy to agree with you in that regard with the way this is showing up. I think that, you know, somebody's going to want some answers from you, and I'm not sure how that's going to go. I mean, I see that there's something really successful coming in here for you, brewing for you with this vision that you have. And I do think it's a big, bold vision that you have. You know exactly where you're going. I do feel like there's somebody around you here that wants to know your plans. But again, Ace of Cups. One isn't necessarily the loneliest number in this case. I feel like you're being, yeah, 8 on the clock. It's almost like what's needed to bring in this big, bold vision you have. You have to really stay centered in your own energy here, pour into yourself. Some people think it's selfish, you know, they feel like they should, you know, have some kind of involvement in your plans, which is very strange to me. I mean, if somebody wants to make independent plans, and that's something they're developing for themselves, there's no obligation to include somebody in those plans. It's interesting. There's something about this person really trying to dig in here, though, and figure out what your plans are. I do see that you're going to be moving forward in a particular direction. It looks like in about 2 months' time, okay? But you're definitely like keeping this quiet with the 7 of Swords, okay? You're not revealing what these plans are. And I'm going to do you a favor there, and I'm not going to, you know, interfere in that because I got that 5. It's like, don't talk about these plans. Okay, you already know what this is. All right, there's already something you're brewing here, Sagittarius, and it looks like some big point of putting you in a position where you really get to call the shots here with the Emperor to the 10 of Pentacles. Okay, this is really landing in a very powerful position where you get to call the shots and you get to build your reality and create, you know, your ground base on your terms. It's really good. It's really good energy. It's also very prosperous energy. This is a wise investment. Whatever you got on lock right now, this is a very wise investment. It will lead you to a place of empowerment. But I do feel like there's somebody that you have connection with here. They can sense it. They can kind of like sense this pulling away. And they know that whatever you're coming into alignment with, that they're not part of that. And because they know they're not part of that, they're feeling a sense of like being really left out in this regard, or maybe they're afraid they're going to be completely left out. Um, I mean, I don't see them being part of whatever this process is. Whatever this is that you're heading towards, that you feel called to tend to by your spirit, is something that it's not part of their story. It's your story. That's what I really got, you know. There's a theme of two people here coming up, okay? You know, I know that this is somebody you're dealing with that you do have a very strong connection with, but they feel, you know, they feel a sense of being left out or left behind. They're feeling hurt. You go ways back with this person, all right? But I do see you're like, look, this is private. This is for me. I feel like there's something that you're healing here. There's something that you're working through here, Sagittarius, it looks like, with another person, where you're really trying to move away from things that have made one or both of you feel really blocked, pain you've been carrying forward. You know, there's also a new beginning you're wanting here, and you're not wanting interference. You're sort of wanting to move troubling influences out of the way, and you've made those discernments. So I feel like this is you really just taking charge, you know, of your life and getting rid of what's been creating too much slowdown or too many obstacles in the path. Okay, and there could be, you know, somebody that is being forced to move away from this, you know, because it's not part of their journey, and they're carrying forward a lot of hurt around that. But at the same time, you know, unfortunately, sometimes that's just the way the story goes, you know. We all deal with hurts in our lives and losses in our lives, and we also deal with times when things feel, you know, like they're really beautiful and coming to fruition. And you're heading off toward what's bringing you to that fruition with the Eight of Cups here, coming in with the Four of Wands. There's somebody that it looks like you're going through some kind of healing process with, or whatever this connection is. It does something that gives you a sense of peace and healing and closure with the past. I say that with the way the Two of Cups is coming in here. All right. And I'm not sure what this connection is that you're healing. It could be a connection you're healing with, you know, somebody that is is almost like, I got like spiritual catalyst on your path, okay? And that can come in many different forms. Can it be a lover? It can. You know, this could be a very healing relationship that's coming in for you. I mean, I do feel like that element came in with the lilacs for you. Some of you, this may be, you know, somebody that you have a real, you know, heartfelt connection with, but something's happened here. Looks like there's been a lot of heartache. There's been a lot of troubles, a lot of loss. Somebody also may have just completely taken off on somebody or ghosted somebody or just really shut down. And there's always, it was 1414 on the clock when that came in, all right? And there's still maybe a lot of questions around that. And that was a very destabilizing experience. I feel like that was a mere destabilizing experience in that case. And there might be a desire to kind of work through some of these issues or what was coming up. All right. I feel like the communication in this situation has been very barbed. And this may be because there have been a lot of other people involved in the situation uninvited. Okay. That are just, you know, sort of people that are surrounding characters, you know, in your storyline, but they're not really part of this particular issue. And yet they're wanting control in this issue because the devil was really trying to stick there. And this is something that's really creating the gridlock in the situation. So I feel like you're like putting down boundaries You might have been very open about your plans in the past, and you realized the way that that sabotaged you, the way that worked against you. And I also feel like whatever this is, it's very personal to you, and you don't feel like it's anybody's business. And I mean, I can't argue with that. I can't argue with that. So let's see what we got here. Let's dive deeper into this with the super awesome future cards. Yeah, there's people who think you're being very selfish here with the pig energy coming in, but you know where your future lies with that 22 energy, and you are moving correctly in this case because that's a master builder number, all right? And I feel like you're connecting with somebody else here too that's in that same kind of energy. People may feel like you're moving forward in a very selfish way, or a place of self-interest. And it's kind of interesting because that's sort of an interesting accusation, because doesn't everybody do that? I mean, you can say, okay, I gotta play devil's advocate here. Okay, so some people will be like, no, I always think of other people. That's still coming from a place of self-interest. You be all things to all people because you want to feel like you've earned a place in their life, or that you get some loyalty from them in some way. And manipulation, it can come through as manipulation in some cases. I don't know why this is coming in, but it is, okay? So it's sort of like people need to get a realistic view of what really motivates them in situations. People may be calling you selfish, and to you, it's ironic because it's the very same people that have been so self-centered in your life. That's what I got, okay? I'm sorry, I'm laughing, but it's striking me as funny, and maybe you feel that way about it too. It's like, yeah, it ain't so fun when the shoe's on the other foot now, is it? And I don't think it's that you're gloating about it, but it's just like, yeah, I get it. I feel you. I was there, not too long ago. It is what it is. It's one of those things. Yeah, like I said, somebody very well could have been ghosted in this situation. I also think people see you really kind of not being so bold as far as communicating your moves or what you're going to do, because it's stuff that really doesn't involve anyone else. And if it does involve anyone else, the people that it does involve know about it. I mean, that's what it is. But I do feel like you have some people, kind of hanging out around the periphery that are trying to figure out what's going on here. Where are you off to? They know that something's about to change. It's like one of those moments right before, everything sort of transforms in the storyline, like the plot twist moment. It's the tension, it's the tension building moment in the plot here, but it's nothing sinister, it's just, it's actually quite the opposite I got, but people think it's nefarious because you're keeping it close to your chest. And it's like, no, it's just none of your business. What's so hard to understand about that, man? And the pig came out again. The pig came out again. Yeah, what's up? No. No, you can wait around all you want, and you can eavesdrop all you want, and you can try to suss this out. But the people who know, and that's it. I keep my circle real tight. And it's another way I'm able to spot the leaks, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah. Yeah. You know what this causes. You know that certain people, this is their MO. They want to know this stuff so they can, get an inside view in your situation, stir things up. They may even want to stir it up between two people in particular, cause problems, cause, fights, drive a wedge between two people. These could be party people too. These could be people that, You know, this is just the way they roll. You know what I'm saying? They like to hit the bars. You know, they hang out with, you know, a certain crowd of people who are very focused on, you know, what they can get out of a situation, or how things come off, how things appear. You know, they care about things like status, things like this. It's all about how it looks. And a lot of times, I hate to say it, but sometimes in crowds like that, it can also be about like relevancy. Like, let me be relevant in this storyline by, you know, inserting myself and stirring up a little drama. It's catty energy. And you know it, and you've felt it before, and you know how it's caused problems before. For some of you, you may have even, you know, been kind of prone to, you know, running those circles, and at one point, you know, you felt quite at home there. And you may have even been kind of like a very active participant at some points, you know, maybe during times when you were partying a bit much, you know. Some of you pulled away from that. You're kind of getting balanced, and now you're really realizing that you want to focus more on yourself. You don't want to stay connected to this stuff anymore. But I do feel like there's people that are having a hard time with your pulling your energy back and experiencing this shift in your stance. But I feel like it's healthy. And I don't think you're being dishonest with anybody. I think you're being upfront. You're like, it's none of your business. I don't want to talk to you about it. I'm going to do what I want, you know? Yeah. And I think there's people who do see it your way. I have to say, with the dogs here, isn't this funny? Cats and dogs, like cats and dogs, okay? Yeah, you know, the thing is here, I'm just going to call it out. Men are more trustworthy allies at this time. All right, I have to say it, you know. And I mean, I'm gonna bring it in because it just came in. I mean, some of you may be in this mindset where you're like bros before hoes, and I mean, you know, you could flip that around too, you know, chicks before dicks, you know, whatever side you choose there, or however you relate to that. But it's that kind of vibe where it's like, you know, I just kind of want to, I don't know. I'm picking it up too, even with women, you know, and you might, you know, want to listen to the advice of those like big brother, you know, type friends a little bit more, that know how to kind of pinpoint what you need to look out for here. But I feel like you know that there's people around you that have selfish motivations, is how it's coming out basically. And so you have to be mindful of this, all right? You do have to consider what's best for you and do things on your terms, all right? I don't know. And some of you do have a real choice to make. It's kind of interesting. It is coming through like that. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Assign gender roles as you choose, but it's coming out very strongly like this, that it really is a situation where it's like you got a group of, you know, feminines around you that are super catty and they're dishonest and they're putting on false fronts and they're wanting information and they're trying to stir up some drama. And then you got a group of masculines over here that are like super solid and loyal, and you can really count on them. They're not involved in any of this crap. But you know, these feminines would have you believe otherwise, okay? And they may even be sort of like painting you as being like this like horrible, you know, person, is so selfish, so self-centered. But it's like, did you lie? You know, it's got that kind of like feel to it. Did you lie? I don't think so. I don't think so. Sagittariuses are really like upfront. They tend to be very upfront, blunt people to a fault. When they say something, no, they're not joking. They mean it. Even if they laugh, you know, they mean what they say. So, you know, yeah, there's no reading between the lines, and that's a problem too. Is I have to say, you know, a lot of times the feminine can go to that place of thinking there's more to it. There's more to it. You know, I know they mean something else there. And when they said that, it actually meant this. No, it didn't mean this. A lot of these themes have been coming out in the reads, I think, because we have the node action going on, and it's so front and center at this time, 25 on the clock. You know, you got that Aries in the north node, which is that emperor energy, and then you got Venus in the south node with Libra energy there. And it's that thing of, you know, men are from Mars, women are from Venus, you know, that whole, you know, very, you know, dichotomous kind of way of looking at things, the whole love and war and, you know, all of that energy. All right. And it really, to me, it looks like, you know, the big problem in a situation seems to be around communication and this sort of subversive way of doing things when, you know, it's not about that. It's about being upfront, you know, transparent, creating a feeling of loyalty and trust in a situation. And when you got this kind of like catty behavior where people feel like, well, when they're telling me this, they must really mean that. I mean, first of all, that's manipulative in and of itself. I personally, I found that when a man says something, he means it exactly as he says it. It is what it is. I mean, that's and I think the more that, you know, just speaking in this way at this time, you know, I know there's people who are fluid in the way they see things, but I'm bringing the download through as it's coming through for this right here. There's this thing where it's like women create more problems for themselves by thinking that men communicate the same way we do. They don't. They don't. They don't. And women would really benefit from bringing, you know, their masculinity a little bit more in balance, you know, within themselves to kind of temper this, because then they would be able to be just completely transparent. And women say, oh, but I'm always honest. And it's not always the case. It's not always the case. Women talk around their feelings a lot. I mean, they do this, and then unfortunately they pull other women into the matter too, and then well, you know, we know what happens with that. It's like the rumor mill situation. You know, it causes a lot of problems, and they sit with their girlfriends asking their girlfriends, well, what do you think he meant when he said that? And it's like, no, if you want to know what he meant, like, ask him what he meant. Don't make assumptions, and don't talk to these catty women about it. Come on. Because, of course, these women are going to say disparaging things. Because, you know, with women who move like this, they probably already got their eyes on that prize. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And let's just, for the sake of fluidity's sake, it's true. You know, men can certainly adopt this role too. I've encountered catty men where it's the opposite, right? But this kind of like dichotomy is playing out in this situation. And what I feel is really coming through very strongly here, Sagittarius, is that you've made your position very clear. And you said what you said. It's got that kind of energy, like, I said what I said. And I also feel like you're kind of like, think it's funny that there's all this kind of like mess around this, because you're like, I'm just over here eating, man, doing what I said I was going to do, which is I'm doing me, you know. And I think people see that, you know, you got some good solid people in your corner. They really do see who you are, you know. They get you, they understand you, they agree with you. It's interesting. It's like the light wanted to dim on this side with that. Yeah, you know, and, you know, there's other people who would rather, like, they'd rather, you know, be able to introduce you to people. Like they'd rather be the one who gets to say who you are. I sort of like these judgments they're casting on you. It's, yeah, I don't know. I feel like you pulled away from this, all right? I don't want to give that any more attention, but it really did want to come in and wanted to be addressed. So what's coming in around this? What does Sagittarius need to know? What does Sagittarius need to know? I mean, I think something's definitely coming into alignment. Yeah, it's interesting here. You know, at one time you felt, you know, connected to these people. You really did. You did. And you're always going to remember the good times. I feel like you're kind of leaving some stuff behind. That's what it feels like. You know, you're shifting. You know, it happens. People change. There's times when you kind of have to go down your own road and do your own thing. There is a particular pack that you're breaking from. And it's like some people from that circle you may still feel really connected to, and they're really solid people. And you feel like they represent, you know, sort of where you're at and where you're going. And you feel like these are people that can grow alongside of you, and the connections feel really good. You know, they feel strong and supported, and they've proven themselves to you. You know what I'm saying? It's like they've stood the test of time. And there's others where you always have to be wondering, like, what's going on when I'm not around? And I think you're just kind of tired of holding space for people like that. And I don't blame you. I don't blame you. And I think you might, you know, hear some stuff on the periphery around this, you know. And if you've been wondering, are they still on the periphery? Yeah. And I think you're like, hey, deuces, you know, I'll always remember the good times. You know, there's no animosity here. It's just I'm off to the new. It's time to change. It's time for me to let this phase of my life go. It's time for me to head in this direction. It's time for me to make different choices, man. Yeah. And I think, you know, where you used to feel really at home, like within a social circle or in a particular relationship, or even where you were living in a particular community, I think you just don't feel that way anymore. And you're off to the new. And some people feel like that's a big selfish move of you. I have to say, they really do have an issue with it. But I don't know, man. I don't know what to say. Anything else that wants to come in around this? Yeah, so, well, I mean, I have to say, you do have one of those women that's going to be on the attack around this. They don't like your vision. They don't. They don't like your vision. All right, praying mantis energy. Definitely, you know, this is some woman, you know, this is some woman on the attack. They have a big problem with where you're going. And they may also be, you know, trying to pull a lot of people into this issue. And I think people are scattering from this person. Okay. I don't think that they're going to be able to have sway. You know, they're not going to be able to rally a mob against you, Sagittarius. Whoever this person is probably somebody you had as a lover. It has to be somebody you had as a lover, or somebody who's like, you know, involved with your person of interest if you don't dig chicks in that way. You know what I'm saying? So it could have been one of their old lovers, you know. It could be a baby's mama. It could be a mother, you know. It's really going to be on the warpath with this. I think you're going to catch some heat, but I don't really see that stopping you. No, there's some message coming in here. It's a message of importance, and it is from somebody that you do feel a sense of loyalty to here, all right? Let's see what this is about. I'm going to do a cut of the deck, and then we'll get some clarification cards. It's about your fresh start, all right? 7 energy. This is a lucky new cycle that's opening up for you. The next 3 new moons are going to be very significant for you. So pay attention to those 3 new moons. I got, woo. Just, yes, okay. Interesting. A blue jay like just came and swooped down in front of the window and flew straight up. So I feel like This is a time when you'll really get to move forward toward this vision you have. It really is that activation of your north node of destiny. All right. Here's the thing. Blue jays are territorial. So you definitely want to continue to maintain your boundaries around this. I do feel like you're moving into a brand new direction. There's a lot of expansion here. This is a lot of new people coming into your life too. It's a lot of new connections and new opportunities that are really going to open up a new successful chapter in your life. There's a lot of growth here. There's also a lot of everything you love, Sagittarius, with that energy you got with the ninth house. So I do see you doing a lot where maybe you broaden your reach, especially online. If you do any kind of work online or you do any kind of work around tech, I do see you experiencing a lot of growth and innovation in those areas. I also feel like you might consider moving to a different locale. That's quite possible. There's absolutely travel on the agenda. Travel could factor into your work as well, or a particular opportunity that gets put before you. It can also have to do with people at a distance that are important for you to connect with to get some vision off the ground. All right. I think you already got this, like you already got this cooking. Okay. But the next 3 new moons are very significant. I do see there's some very important movement forward that happens in like 3D reality, not like, okay, I'm moving this idea forward. No, there's something you're really like rooting, you know, in your day-to-day life by the end of that 3rd moon, new moon cycle. Okay. So, stay live to that. I'll have a look at when those new moons are and I'll pin it in the comments for you so you can kind of like track that. Look for a bit of luck to come in at that time. Yeah, and just be aware, you know, you do have like this energy. I think it may be an old flame with that, you know. This may be coming forward very strongly for those of you who, you know, dig the chicks, man. You may have an old flame that's trying to kind of like, you know, burn this bridge that you're meant to cross over here. So you do need to be on the lookout for that. Or this could be this person's ex, all right? For those of you, you know, who dig the dudes, man. All right, so let's see here. I think I want to get an overarching theme for you with the Sacred Rebels Oracle to kind of close this out. Yes, 21, beyond the mind, the heart beats. So yes, you have a vision, okay? You do have something you're going to be hatching here. It is an inspiration. It's a download. It's something that you really want to root in your material reality, but we know that something much deeper is happening here. Something much deeper is happening here. It's like a calling that's being activated. You have to go in this direction. This is something you have to do. And it's very personal. That's what I find interesting about this energy that I'm dipping into. It's something that's very personal. And yet there's all these people that feel like they should have like a window view into it, which feels, I have to be honest with you, it feels like violating. You know what I'm saying? It feels like violating. It doesn't feel appropriate. So I think where people have kind of like trampled your boundaries or been disrespectful in some way, I think, you know, good on you for just calling the shots and holding the line because, you know, I mean, they'll understand someday when they're in a similar position where they want to have that, you know, same respect held around their healing process or whatever this is. It's something that, you know, it looks like some kind of healing process because I really, with that 2 of Cups, tuned into the caduceus between the 2 figures there. And also that imagery of the lion with the wings. It also reminds me of the griffin energy that came in. Had griffin energy come in on another read recently. Can't remember what read that was, but you know, griffins can sometimes be sent out by wizards to steal dragon's treasure. And I think there's something here that it's like, no, you're not going to steal this from me because this is my treasure. This is my treasure. I feel like whatever this is, it's part of your purpose. And it's just sort of like, no, man. And I don't get that you're going to get it, you know, because I'm going beyond normal here. Maybe you think I'm crazy. Maybe you think I'm sliding in at the 11th hour with this harebrained idea and you think I'm risking it all for a whole bunch of nothing, you know? So buttons on bananas, man. You don't have to get it. I know what I'm doing here, okay? And it's a golden idea and it's a true inspiration. It's the 11th hour save, man. It's your Hail Mary moment, Sag, okay? And I think you're going to pull something beautiful off here. It looks good. All right, by the end of that last of the 3 new moons cycles, okay, something's really going to shift in this situation for you. Yep, I told you. You're coming together with the appropriate people. It's collaborative dreaming. I think that these people are already, you know, I got this image. It's a bit out there, but I don't care. I can talk like that to you, Sag. It's like almost like you're all like tapped into the same frequency right now. And those of you that are tapped in, even though you haven't met each other, it's like, no, you feel it. You feel the pull, like you know that you're coming into alignment with certain people and they play an important role here. And yes, it's interesting. Bottom of the deck here. Be the hunter, not the hunted. You know, there's something here about not allowing yourself to get sort of like distracted and caught in the traps of people who are wanting to tap in too much to your plans and wanting too many details around what is your north node. You know, keep your vision on lock with where you're going. You're in an active creative phase right now and you're just about to manifest a new beginning here. Right? Looks really good. Let's see. Cut of the deck energy. Oh, beautiful. Look at this. Sacred Fool. That is some beautiful energy. You are definitely heading off on a brand new adventure here. This is a fresh start. And, you know, people may say that, you know, you're being a fool, but you're like, I'm not a fool. I'm a mastermind here. I'm pulling the strings of fate. I'm plucking the strings, that cosmic web of creation. I know exactly what I'm doing. I think you're playing with it too. And when it lands on people's awareness, just what you're bringing into being, what you've created, what you're here to do, it's going to just blow their socks off, man. This is shock of the new. 6 energy coming in around that. Life path 6 could be significant in regard to this. Bringing in the obvious around this. This could have something to do with the voice, using your voice, singing, public speaking, sharing important message may be part of your purpose. This could be writing an album. This could be doing some kind of production work, producing something that starts out small, it builds, you come together with the right people, becomes a collaborative effort, it bursts a dream. You'll be shocked when you see how things turn out, when you follow your inspiration, just where it will lead. But this is definitely something that's coming in to shake things up. It's brand new. You might be surprised when you see how this all turns out in the end. Ooh, look at that. And we got power number 13, power of attraction. So this is very much like what you want wants you, okay? And it was 44:24 on the clock when I went into that, okay? So there's total alignment here. So keep dreaming a beautiful dream here. And, you know, this is the thing. I feel like you are doing this work too, you know, simultaneously. People say you're being selfish or self-centered or whatever. You're not considering them. And it's actually quite the opposite. Whatever you're activating here, it helps a lot of people. It helps a lot of people. 44:55 on the clock. It creates change, you know. It brings forward something that really needs to come into the world. And, you know, people aren't always going to get it when your purpose is activated. It's like this compelling thing. You can't stop the motion of it. You have to answer the call. You have to. You have to. And I feel like this is one of those situations, Sagittarius. So answer that call. You won't regret it.